And then over here, if you click on participants, it'll open that other window up.
Okay.
So if for some reason someone doesn't use the right link to come in, you can click over to the attendees tab.
Okay.
And from there, you can add people. There's a way to mouse over people. So go back to panelists.
Okay.
Everyone was given a link on your group to be able to be a panelist.
Okay.
So like, for example, right now, Carrie's muted for her microphone. If you wanted to, you can unmute her, but you can also ask someone to unmute. And then under the more, that's only if you were like making someone go. So, oh look, go over to attendees.
Okay.
So he's listening.
Okay.
He's in listening mode.
Okay.
Okay, and then come over here and just say allowed to talk.
Okay. And I think Carrie's really good at doing this. So
Hey Ron, what's your question?
Oh, is he muted?
Yeah, he's muted.
Did he mute himself then?
Come over here.
Oh, asked to unmute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Ron, you had your hand raised. Did you have a question before the meeting starts? Go to more. Lower hand. And then...
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ron, we can hear you.
Can you see me? I don't see my picture on the screen.
You're not a panelist, so you're not a member of the group, so we do not see you as a panelist.
Very good. But should I stay unmuted? You can listen to the Jeopardy playing in the background if you like.
Yeah.
I'll leave it muted for now.
We weren't sure what your hand was raised for. If you're just attending the meeting to listen, we take you off the screen.
Okay, that's fine. I was just I was waving.
Oh, okay. That actually is more of a asking a question or needing to be joined. So we're going to switch you back over. If we accidentally remove you, just go ahead and go into the link again.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, that's okay. Mute this over here. I'm afraid.
Should I wear my mask?
Hi, Yvonne. You're still muted.
I'm a rookie.
There you go. Thank you for putting this all online so we can meet. I'm sure that training, and I didn't expect to see you with the mask on as soon as I got.
Somebody right next to me.
No, I know. I was like, oh man, she doesn't even get the benefit of not having to wear a mask.
I know. I was thinking you're like, oh, she doesn't get it.
No, you're good.
Don't turn off the computer because I have an interview after
Is
you.
yours at 6:30?
6:30,
6:30. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I told them we need to wind it down.
If I,
at
and I'm
6:30.
gonna come running here and start mine.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. All right. Michelle's here. Thanks, Mara.
If you need me, I'm downstairs.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm surviving.
Are you still at your friend's place?
Yeah, I'll probably be here another month or two.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know when they're actually going to get started doing anything.
It's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, I've only got 34% battery, so I probably won't last long either.
Okay, well, we have to keep it short anyway because there's another meeting following our meeting. So we need to really stay on target with the agenda today. So, and I don't know that there's anything that we need to vote on this agenda. I'm not sure. So I don't think
Yeah, I
there is.
haven't seen the agenda, so I don't know what's up.
I don't think there is. I think it's just points of discussion and some information from Yvonne. So if for some reason we do lose you and need your voting capacity, we'll try and get a hold of you somehow. But I don't know that that's the issue today.
Could have put on a better shirt, I guess. One with fewer food stains. I actually forgot which meeting was which. I was thinking I was going to the Great Rivers Master Naturalist meeting, but that's tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
You're stuck with us.
Yeah. Hope we get a few more.
Yvonne, I saw Ron on here for just a second. Did he reach out to you since we talked today?
No, he's still here and he's on the attendee list. And so
I think, I guess, Ron, if you're listening, I think Yvonne and I wanted to maybe
I think Ginger came in under Michelle's thing. Is that right? It's like on your.
Can you hear me, Yvonne?
Yes. Okay.
Aha.
So I think a bunch of people came in under Michelle's link.
Ah, that's what's happening.
Okay.
Wondered.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I think we'll wait just another minute or two, and then I think we probably have enough to start. Well, everyone go ahead and mute except for Carrie, please. We're getting a lot of feedback. And then is the real Michelle here?
If the attendees could also mute, that would be great. Ron and whoever else is on as an attendee, if you could mute.
Okay, I think we got that settled. Okay, and there's two mystery Michelles still. Hopefully one.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm Joanne Fogarty.
Hi, Joanne.
Yeah,
Can
I'm marked as Michelle.
we see that? Yeah. Are there, and I see Tessa Wasserman, and I see Anne, and I see Bill and Yvonne. And I think the real Michelle might have her camera on, or is that?
Okay.
There's Michelle.
Michelle's here.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we have one more mystery Michelle.
I'm marked as Michelle Clemens. Get out of the way, you're on.
Is that Ginger there? In the,
Yeah.
Turn on your microphone and tell them you're this one.
I did.
Okay, so we'll get the bugs ironed out next time and figure out why several people have entered in under Michelle Clemens, so I'm not really sure why. But it's okay, we recognize your face.
all right. Do you want me to get started,
Yes.
Yvonne? Okay. Joanne, if you just want to put your volume on mute, can you mute yourself? Do you know how to do that? That way we won't get feedback and stuff. Awesome. Thank you. Tessa, you look very comfortable in your garden there. All right. So this is our first virtual meeting. Probably not for a lot of you. Probably you are meeting virtually in a lot of other spaces. But this is our first virtual meeting as the Green Space Advisory Commission. So just kind of formally, we're going to get this started, and I want to, Yvonne asked me to read a little something here at the beginning, and then we can take our call to order and our roll call. So due to the St. Louis County Health Regulations, the September 14th, 2020 Green Space Advisory Commission meeting will be available to the public only via teleconference. Instructions on listening through your phone or computer to the teleconference will be available prior to the meeting at webstergroves.org/teleconference. And so you guys know this meeting is being recorded for posterity. So we've already got everybody's microphone turned off, so that'll make it easier for us not to talk over one another and kind of avoid background noise too. Sometimes these meetings can be kind of clunky and hard to hear and communicate. So, and one last thing I wanted to say, just businessy wise, is that there's another group that's going to be using this Zoom webinar session at 6:30. So we need to wrap up by, I think, 6:15. So we'll have to stay on point with our agenda. All right. So Michelle, the real Michelle Clemens, do you want to take the
Yes.
roll call?
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. Don't forget to unmute yourself, you guys, when you say here.
Okay. Annie, Bill, Pam, Ginger,
Here.
Anne,
I'm here.
Linda, Joanne,
Here,
Carrie,
Here.
Tessa,
Here.
and Yvonne.
Here.
Okay.
Thank you, Michelle. So I'm wondering, who is our mystery Michelle? Did I miss that person? Can you, Michelle?
Me, it's Joanne. I don't know how I got that, Michelle.
No,
Clemens.
we can see you, Joanne. It's good. Michelle, the real Michelle Clemens, will you just list off who's on the call again? You're on mute. Unmute yourself, Michelle.
Sorry.
That's okay.
At present being Ginger, Anne, Joanne, Carrie, Tessa, and Yvonne. Now, Linda Green did say that she didn't have a camera, so maybe that's her. She's
Okay.
just calling in with no face. I don't know.
She
Okay,
might
and
type.
Bill is also here. I
Oh,
think he said here before when he
Okay.
was muted, so.
Okay. So I have no Annie, no Pam, and maybe no Linda, but she might be here.
Okay, it looks like someone's connecting to audio, so thank you, Michelle.
Sure.
We'll just go ahead now. So I know that we do, or I think we still might have a visitor in the audience here, Mr. Zager. I also see Steve Bader. I imagine he might be here for technical help. I'm not sure. And then there's someone calling in as well. So do you guys just want to take a quick moment, again, maybe just 2 minutes, to tell us, if you need 2 minutes, why you've called or why you're here today, and introduce yourself. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm representing the Webster Roads Historical Society, the Hawken House and the Hearth Room, and had a nice meeting with Barry Coyne and Tessa Wasserman since the last meeting. Walked around the grounds. They gave me all kinds of good ideas of what might be done. And I just wanted to be here at this meeting in case any questions should come up that I might be able to answer.
Okay, great. We were gonna, our visit was on the agenda, is on the agenda, and we haven't really settled anything, but we have a follow-up and a way to follow up with you. So I think.
Very good. Okay, I'm gonna unmute.
Okay. Do we have any other guests?
There
Okay.
is somebody who called in, but I'm not sure if they're still there.
Yeah, it looks like they've hung up. Okay, well, we'll go back to our agenda. Approval of minutes from last meeting. Thank you, everybody who took minutes and put those together. Does anybody want to approve the minutes? Do we need any edits? Can anyone make a motion to approve them?
You'll have to unmute.
I will motion to approve the meeting minutes from last meeting.
Thank you, Ginger.
I'm glad you guys can hear me.
Anybody else want to second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Anne.
Oh,
Okay. Old business. So we have just a couple of things on the old business plate. The Hawken House Garden, which is what Ron mentioned previously. And you guys who were at the meeting last time know that he was there. So after Tessa and I met with Ron a few weeks ago, we listened to his concerns and issues on the site, and I think we did have some good suggestions, and we talked about the possibility of perhaps the Green Space Commission helping Ron's organization out in the future. But Tessa very wisely said we need to run all this by Yvonne first. We can't make any decisions or jump in without her. So I think at this point, this is sort of on a little bit of a hold for us. I think Ron and Yvonne need to meet, and perhaps I can be there, or Tessa and I can be there since we were both there before, and kind of figure out what the city would approve kind of going into that space. And then once we kind of know where things stand between the city and the Hawken House, we can again kind of review how we might be involved with that. Yvonne, does that sound appropriate?
Sure. We can send out some suggestions this week by email and pick a date that everyone can make.
Okay, great. So that was pretty simple. So Ron, just go ahead and reach out to Yvonne, and we'll coordinate a meeting. Does anybody else have anything else about the Hawken House? Anybody on the committee? Okay. The second piece of old business is the McKee Park landscape improvements. Do you want to give an update, Yvonne, on what the status of, I know you guys did some improvements there.
Okay. So recently we removed a fence that has been in bad shape for a while. And so we removed that and replaced part of it with split rail. And we're not quite finished with that, but it will be finished this fall. We're waiting for some product to come in. And then also the whole park is due to be renovated in 2 years. So what I would like to do is, yes, the park does need a little bit of a facelift now just to get to that point. However, we will be applying for a grant. So if we do some big improvement to it, then it makes our chances to get the grant a little bit less. The park needs to look like it's in need of renovation. So I think tending to the gardens, finishing the split rail, and some strategic planting is what we can do now, and then wait for the big renovation in 2 years.
And I know that Tessa had some conversations with a nearby resident whose group had also been working on plans for the park. And I think those were kind of up in the air at this point. So I think maybe the best action for us is to decide, if we want to take part in maybe a cleanup day over there or something, or some regular volunteer kind of time over there. We could probably do that, something as a group, or a planting with plants we could bring in, but it sounds like any kind of big planning is really something we wouldn't want to do at this time. So, but Tessa, do you want to weigh in on this at all? Are you there, Tess?
Which park?
Oh, McKee Park. I'm sorry. I thought I said that. McKee Park.
You did, but I couldn't hear it.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can.
Okay. So it's McKee Park.
I can now.
Okay, great. Sorry, Bill. So I don't know.
Probably had the volume too low.
Okay. I don't know if Tessa is still there or not. It almost looks like she was frozen. So I think for now, we'll just sort of table this idea. We're very much in support of any improvements that obviously are going to happen. And I think it would be kind of fun for this commission to be part of that planning process if we can do that somehow, Yvonne.
I think that there probably will be a process to see what that playground and park, what that community is in need of.
Yeah, and I know that Tessa lives right around the corner from there, so I'm sure she has some ideas just watching, residents using that space.
Sure.
So for now, we'll sort of bench any like big projects there, but we can talk amongst ourselves about possibly a work day.
Yes.
Okay. And would it be okay if I sent an email to these folks to the committee, Yvonne, like just kind of talking about workday specifics? I know we're not supposed to communicate sort of outside of this public venue, but if it's related to specific workday sort of,
Yeah, I think that's okay to set up a workday.
okay, so maybe
It could
Tessa,
be a Make a Difference Day project. And it
okay,
doesn't have to be done on that day. It can be done, you know, a week before or a week after.
okay.
Sorry,
Um,
guys, I keep getting kicked off, so I didn't hear before all of that. what
That's
you
okay.
guys-
That's okay.
Um,
We saw you freeze up.
Yeah.
So basically, sorry to repeat everyone, but we've kind of we've decided that because the project, the McKee Park, is going to have a major renovation within the next 2 years, that we should keep anything we're doing, you know, kind of really minor. So we were suggesting that maybe we just do a work day, you know, help out with some of the maintenance issues there. So Yvonne had said that we can go ahead and coordinate that sort of outside of this space, her particular work day.
And has there been any communication, Yvonne, between yourself and Janice Schweitzer, who used to be?
Yeah.
on the commission?
Yes, and there are some plants. I think she's trying to get a hold of some seed source. And part of the area she's working on is the area between the neighbor and the park, and then also along the split rail. And she had someone who was going to do some design work, which she was working on, but then she had some personal issues to take care of and needed to devote her time to that. And she emailed me and I said, whenever whenever you're able to, that's fine with us. And I haven't heard back from her, and that's been a couple weeks. So I think it'd be nice to hear what she has planned. And then maybe we all kind of put our heads together and pick out the areas that we want to work on now, and then have some ideas of what maybe that park could be when the renovation happens.
Okay. I was hoping we could kind of have a partnership with what her design and Carrie's ideas would be.
Sure.
I didn't know that when I worked with Janice there, just cleaning up, she sort of said, you know, in front of where the split rail will go is whatever you guys want to do. And then after our meeting, she contacted me. I guess Annie and her have talked about what was going on there, but Annie didn't say anything at our last meeting. So Janice had gotten a hold of me saying, well, wait, I already have somebody and we have our own group. And I was like, oh, you didn't tell me that before. I don't want to step on your toes. But I thought it'd be nice, you know, if we could at least join forces and, you know, put in plants or
Sure.
make it look good. So,
Okay, well, maybe we can pick a time, just like the Hawken House, that everyone can meet over there. And then that way we're maximizing all the offers to help and do design work. And
oh, you're freezing again.
you can email next week and see when people are available.
Shoot.
That sounds
Come
good.
on, come
So that's the
on.
way we'll proceed with that. Okay, sorry, Tess. We keep losing you. So I'm going to move on to new business, unless anyone else.
You guys are freezing up on, I hope you can hear me.
You might want to try and jump out, Tessa, and jump back in all together. Sometimes that helps. Does anyone else have anything about McKee Park they'd like to mention at this point? We will have probably a follow-up email conversation. Okay, great. So on to new business. Volunteer projects. I know there's some things coming up. Yvonne, can you share those with us?
Sure. So I hope everyone remembers that we are doing a tree giveaway, and that will be at Blackburn Park on September 26th from 8 in the morning to 10:30. And we actually have about 150 trees available to give away to anyone who can show that they removed the Bradford pear in their yard. And so we're looking for, I would say, 3 or 4 people from Green Space to help out with that event and kind of be there to help load trees And they're 3-gallon trees, so it's not like you're gonna be loading these great big ball and burlap trees. So, and to be handy to give homeowners planting instructions. So if I could get a commitment, hopefully by the end of this meeting, on who can maybe help out with the event, I will be there and the truck will be loaded and ready with the plants, and I'll meet at the park. So there won't be any loading to do at the service center. We'll just meet at the park and then be ready for the homeowners to stop by. And we're not going to do a planting day just because of the logistics, but there will be some planting possibly on Make a Difference Day. It just depends how many trees we have left.
Okay, so it looked like Bill raised his hand.
Okay.
Was that you want to help, Bill?
I can get it. Yeah, I do want to help.
Okay, great. So Bill will be there. I can help too, Yvonne.
Okay.
I'm unfortunately going to be out of town because Yvonne told me about this great swampy kayak tour that I'm actually doing that day
Cool.
in Illinois.
Cool.
I can come.
Anne, all right, great.
Ann Omura.
Okay.
I can help too.
Ginger.
So count me
Okay.
in, please. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
And so some upcoming projects. So I just want to let you know that we did have a volunteer group. It was one of the Lutheran churches in Webster Groves. They brought out 25 volunteers and they worked all along Lorraine Davis Park for a good 2 hours, pulling vines and chopping out honeysuckle. So they're kind of continuing your efforts down at Lorraine Davis Park and to give the native plants more room to grow. So that was a pretty big success. That was this past Saturday. And then if we want to decide what our Make a Difference Day project will be, I thought that it could be another honeysuckle sweep at Shady Creek. If that sounds good, we'll have to keep our volunteers below 50, including anybody who's supporting the event. Also, River to Pear is doing their trash bash that week. And instead of having an actual day for the event, it's going to be a week-long event. And I gave them 4 different sites to use. One is Glen Park, Shady Creek at Glen Park, Shady Creek at Shady Creek, Shady Creek at Lorraine Davis, and Deer Creek at the Marshall Trailhead. So those should be posted on the River to Pear Stream Team cleanup site, I would imagine in the next week or so. And that's something that you can do with your kids or just get a small group of volunteers and they'll support you with gloves and bags and you can go clean up certain parts of the creek. And there will also be maps on that site of where you can put the trash and then our staff will come by and pick it up. So the main thing we need to do tonight is pick an event for Make a Difference Day. And my one idea is the honeysuckle sweep at Shady Creek.
Any other thoughts or suggestions? Would everybody vote for doing that? Thumbs up? 2 thumbs up? Looks good. Looks like we've got an informal vote for honeysuckle removal.
Okay, so what I will do is put it together and it will be posted on Greenkeepers. And I'll do that about a month in advance. So the date is October 24th. So I'll do that in the next week or so. And then also it will be posted on all the city's venues as well, like our city webpage and then Community Connect, and then hopefully in the Webster Kirkwood Times. And then the Facebook page. So we'll have it posted probably in the next week or so with the details.
Okay, and then we'll have another meeting before that, right? So you can let us know at that meeting, like what you need specific help with, if you need
Okay.
prep help.
Okay, that sounds good.
Did anybody else have any questions about any of the volunteer projects that, or future projects that Yvonne mentioned, the stream team stuff or the tree giveaway?
Yeah, I do have questions, and I apologize for being late. I was at another council call. So I just wanted to double check, when is the River to Pear cleanup, the week?
I believe it's the same week. It starts the 24th.
Okay,
But if you go on the River to Pear, I think it's called the River to Pear Watershed website, it will show you what the event is going to be. And I'm not sure they have the details up yet because they were still trying to find sites to put on the website for people to go to. But I would imagine in the next week or so it will be up.
okay. And then did you all discuss the Bee City funding?
Not yet.
Was that on your agenda to talk about it?
It's not actually on the agenda.
Okay. So I did check back with Scott Davis, and that was in the budget. And then when council asked everybody to kind of trim, it did get cut during that second trimming in July or whenever we did that approval of the new budget. And then he said it does not look like it's something that will be going into the 21 budget at this point, but he's going to keep an eye on that to see if that an opportunity opens up. So if you all wanted to do that, it would be up to you individuals, or I guess you could use your budget. So.
Okay. Thanks for that update, Pam.
You're welcome.
So I guess we can decide whether we want to pay for that out of our budget or not. And I assume our budget is the same as last year. Do we know that? Yeah.
It's
So $300, is that our budget?
It's 300. So maybe we can revisit it in the spring before that money goes away, and see if you haven't spent the money, then maybe we can go ahead and do it. I don't think that Bee City USA is a timed thing. There may be some updates that we'd have to do to the report possibly, or the declaration of Bee City USA. So
That sounds like a good idea to me. Tessa, how do you feel about that? I know you've done a fair share of that work, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine with me too. They didn't really contact me after COVID hit, so I assume that they understand, with what's going on with people and maybe not being able to meet in person to talk about it.
My battery's dying, so I'm about to drop out.
Since
okay. We'll be in touch.
Bye, Bill.
Yeah, bye.
So I think, with all the stuff that we were supposed to be doing to kind of update as we go with Arbor Day and all that stuff, since we haven't been able to meet and record that for the Bee City distinction, I think it is probably smart to wait till spring. That way we can start fresh, and hopefully we'll be able to have more meetings outside. I would go ahead and count maybe our Make a Difference Day. Well, I guess we really couldn't until we apply, but anyway, I think it's smart to wait till spring, and that way we can plan more activities, hopefully. So I'm willing to wait.
Okay. Good, thank you. Anybody else have any comments about the possibility of waiting? It does seem like a good approach. Okay, so we will reevaluate maybe as we get into February and March, kind of where things are, where we are as a committee in the virtual world, and where activity sort of stands. Thanks, Tessa. Let's see, it's not the last item. There's another item on the bid on the agenda that we also kind of put on hold the last meeting, kind of in a similar way, which was the collaborative speaker series, or just our speaker series, really. We talked at the last meeting about waiting to collaborate, down the road. with the garden club, but that we might just be waiting until spring as well for the speaker series. And I think that kind of is in line with what you were saying, Tessa, that maybe as things start warming up in the spring and we see signs of spring, that might be hopefully a good time when we can be working toward the speaker series. So is everybody still on that same page? Anybody? Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, just as a side note,
Yeah.
we would definitely have to wait until the COVID restrictions ease up, because right now we can only accommodate 25% capacity in the meeting rooms. So if you're looking at 2 rooms, that might be a maximum of like 30 people right now. So that ties in with waiting for spring, but that's also something we'll have to watch carefully.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle. Yvonne, you got an invitation. The next thing on the agenda here is the Tree City USA open house. You got an invitation for that and 4 tickets total, right?
4 tickets total.
And I think it's obviously important that you attend that as the city representative. And
Sure, unless Pam wants to go, she is more than welcome to go in my place, or the mayor. So throwing that out there. It's an open house. It's different than years past. So it kind of looks like you go to a pavilion at Rockwood's Reservation, and you'll pick up a box which has our Tree City USA flag in it. And they probably will take pictures. I don't know how many people they're going to allow to gather together. They want you to give like a 2-hour window of when you'll be there. And then it seems it's not going to be like before we're all in a big room eating lunch together. And so it's sort of a mystery, but I think it's so important for people to go, and anybody's welcome to take my spot if you want to. And Carrie had some ideas of the time frame, and usually we try to pick people who haven't been before, although you're not going to get the full flavor of what it normally is. So,
well, I would like to attend this year since I haven't in the past. I think that would be great. Nobody has any objections to that.
You're saying up to 4 people can go?
4 people can go. And if you want to represent the city, Pam, you are more than welcome to go.
What's the date? What's the date?
I think it's October 2nd.
2nd, yes.
Okay.
I would like to go, but I don't want to take the spot of someone else that would, you know.
It would just be me, and the only thing you would have to do is introduce people. That's about as tricky as it gets.
Okay, well, Yvonne, it's up to you, really.
Okay.
I mean,
well, it's a shame it's not the same as it normally is, because it's really good if a council person goes, because you have a unique perspective on the city, and you have you're going to see other people there that in various aspects of their own city government and sort of what they've done to move forward with different tree plantings. And
I mean, I think just maybe for the knowledge, I mean, I would love to go, but I think for the knowledge base that you should go, since I'm just 2 meetings into this event.
Is there anyone else who hasn't gone to this luncheon? Ginger, was that you?
I haven't.
You have. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I haven't been, but it's probably important for me to be here for the kids while they're still virtual learning.
Okay, that makes
My
sense.
husband has calls and stuff. He can't always help them and stuff. So
I think Anne.
I'm happy to let other people.
Okay, Anne, have you?
So
I haven't been, but you know, I got to tell you, a lot of things with a lot of people make me uncomfortable these times. So I'd kind of like to isolate myself from those. It's not that I'm not interested, and not that I wouldn't enjoy it, but I'm a little fearful of it.
Totally understandable.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we lost Bill. I could reach out to him. I know Tessa has gone before. Has Bill gone before? I think he has
has.
gone before.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Well,
Dan, it might have been a while since you've been, if you're interested. Joanne. You'll have to
Are you
unmute.
talking to me?
Yeah.
I have been. Yeah,
Okay.
I have been fairly recently, within the last 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Okay. Well, you can reach out to Bill, but maybe even Pam could go as a member, and Carrie, Tessa, or does that sound like a?
Yeah, it sounds good. I'll keep it noted on my calendar. Yep.
Okay. And I'll send you the flyer for it.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And then sort of new business / old business. It's not actually on the agenda, but I just asked Yvonne, I was hoping you could give just a really quick update about the future trees of distinction, Yvonne. Just where are we? Because I know that's a program we've talked about as a group, you know, a few meetings ago, and I just want to make sure that that kind of stays on the agenda and pushes forward.
Okay. Yes, I think it's probably one of the most important things this commission might do. And it's very worthwhile, and where it is in the city right now is it's sort of, the information's been given to my boss, and I believe it's been given to Todd. I'll have to verify that, but basically your outline and what you're proposing has been given to them, but we've had a lot of things happen since then, so it might not have gotten much movement. I'm not sure that the council knows about it yet, but maybe if you want to take a minute, I don't think Pam knows anything about it, and just give her a quick overview, and then give me a couple days to talk to Scott and ask him if, you know, where that is and if he can bring that more to the forefront and start pushing it along, because I think it's something I get a lot of questions about. When are we going to plant some more street trees? And we've been losing a lot of street trees. So we have an inventory now, and I think we know what we need out there, and we can start targeting some areas and get the public involved. So maybe do
Okay.
it quickly.
Well, I can just read a little if you're interested. PM, I have just a proposal that Tessa and I worked on together, and then the commission has seen it, but we're really in, you know, just the infancy of this idea. And I'll just read to you the overview and the goals for this, and then I could send you this if that's okay with Yvonne.
Yeah.
I can send you this little proposed initiative, and then we're just kind of waiting at this point. But thanks for that update, Yvonne. So the overview is the Green Space Commission was established for the purpose of promoting high standards of long-term planning, maintenance, and beautification of public green spaces. This volunteer initiative, this Future Trees of Distinction initiative, focuses on improving our community forests by replenishing the population of trees that grace the city's historic streets and avenues. The program calls attention to the city's urban forests and helps reverse the losses of tree canopy caused by disease and development. And then there's 4 major goals: to increase the tree canopy in public right-of-way, and that would include improving diversity, stormwater, general environmental footprint, etc. The second goal is educate the public on the value of trees. The third is educate the public on best practices related to planting, establishment, and maintenance of trees. And then finally, the last goal is just to ensure that there are future trees of distinction to be recognized for decades from now. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Yvonne, should I send this to Pam, or do we?
Oh yeah, I think you can. It's really more of a public works program. You know, parks can help with tree selection and be there sort of as a sounding board of our successes and different obstacles that we faced, like utilities, who's going to plant the tree, who's going to care for the tree, and sort of the logistics of how that program is going to go, if it's all volunteer based. So there's a lot of logistics to work out. We can be there sort of as a cheerleader section and a tree resource, but it's really going to be a public works decision on how those trees will get planted, who's going to take care of them, and help us be a successful program.
Joanne, you have a question? That's all right. Take your time. It's a little, at the bottom of the screen, there's a little microphone. You click on it. All right. Well, while Joanne's trying to figure that out, Pam, did you have any questions? I'm happy to answer any other questions after
it sounds to me, it's like a more of a public Trees of Distinction program, whereas the current one is more about trees on private property.
Mm-hmm.
And you are increasing, you want the program to be prolific, so you are putting it into the more public right of way.
Right. Well, and most of the planting that the city has done with the tree fund that was created has been in the parks, all the parks. So
got it.
Those kind of public spaces. So none of those, where the big trees are coming out because of development, there's not as much planting in the public parts of the city in the rights of way there. So this would be sort of an expansion of what the city's already doing in the public spaces.
Okay.
Did I say that correctly, Yvonne? I think so. And then, we lost a lot of ash trees. So there's neighborhoods that have been pretty denuded of trees. And I think that our arborists for the public works would have a pretty good idea of some areas that would be right for new planting. But it does have to follow the ordinance where, trees can't go on tree lawns that are a certain width. It all has to be areas that are suitable for planting trees. So there's definitely areas out there where we can go back with trees. We've lost a lot of trees over the years due to disease, storm damage, just people driving by and injuring trees, that sort of thing. So we're definitely ripe for replenishing that inventory. I think.
Joanne.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I finally got it unmuted. To get back to the Trees of Distinction, the golden larch is on 600 Bompard, and I know the man who's associated with their church who accepted the award, and they have not taken care of those trees at all, and they are dying. They just look dreadful. So I talked to him about it a couple times a couple years ago, and then I just talked to him recently, and he said, well, we got an arborist out there. They waited too long. They never fed them. They didn't mulch them. The lawnmowers would wreck the bark. I mean, just, you name it. I mean, it's just, they haven't trimmed them. It's just dreadful. So when Yvonne talked about having someone take care of them, my idea originally was, I think the city ought to have to help take care of them, because some of these are in very poor neighborhoods and they're not being taken care of. I mean, there's some very huge old trees that, I think are not going to last really long. But these larches, there are 4 of them, and the arborist told them that was the wrong tree to plant. They never should have been planted there, and they were planted by somebody from the garden. And I said, well, if you've ever been on Sappington Spur, you would see gorgeous ones. If they're taken care of, in other words, they can be beautiful, beautiful trees, but those are not. And I don't know what you do once they're named Trees of Distinction, and they're not. Do you wait for them all to die, or do you take some of them out? I just don't know. I mean, nobody's really in charge, of taking care of the trees.
Right, and I guess that's one difference between what this program would be and what the Trees of Distinction program is. I mean, those are privately owned trees, so the city can't get involved with those trees. But this program would be more about the homeowners, people who love trees in the city of Webster Groves, like all of us, would help establish new trees in the public spaces that then would become city issues.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I don't know what you do about the other problem.
yeah, it's tough. Okay. So that is there any other new business? That's the last item on our agenda.
I don't have any new business, but I did want to say that that is Linda that called in. That's her number there, so she is on the call.
Oh, okay. Hi, Linda.
Is there anything, when I hopped on the call, you were talking about the tree giveaway on the September 26th. Was there anything I missed that you would want me to talk about in the council meeting tomorrow that you?
Well, we have about 150 trees to give away.
Okay, yeah.
And all we're asking is someone can just kind of from a distance show us a picture on their phone of a tree they took down. And then depending on what their needs are, we decided we could give up to 3 trees away, depending on how fast they're going. So we
Per family.
Yeah, we don't know how fast they're gonna go. We wanna make sure that at least for 2.5 hours, we have some trees to give away to people. So
yeah,
I would just say, you know, we'd rather run out of trees at the end.
Right.
People really are going to plant them. And also, Carrie, I think we talked about maybe, I don't know if Tessa or somebody might have some literature that we can give to people about planting trees, just so they make sure they're going to install them correctly. And so we'll work on that. And at the very least, we'll have people that can do a demonstration, or people are welcome to get out of their car and I can do a demonstration just on the side of the truck to kind of show them the height and sort of how to rough the roots up and check for stem girdling roots. So anybody who wants that information, we'll make sure we give it to them.
And then the only other things we covered, Pam, before you got on the phone were old, or on the line, excuse me, were old business items, which are really potential new projects. So we
yeah, you were talking about McKee Park a little bit.
Yeah, and Hawken House. So
and what happened with the Hawken House? Are you still pursuing that now?
Yes, we're gonna coordinate a meetup with Ron and Yvonne out in the field to kind of take a look at, so that we can make sure that what Ron wants to happen there is compatible with what Yvonne wants to do, and then kind of see after that how we can fit into that as a commission.
Okay, I won't say anything until we've got more solid.
That's a good idea.
And so as a little sidebar of information, we lost a pretty good sized black gum in that back lawn area. And so that tree's now gone. We ground the stump and tomorrow it will be sodded. So they'll have a bigger space to use for their events, which they were asking, you know, they desperately need to be able to use that outside space. So after tomorrow, they'll have that backyard to use.
I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt, but on the 26th, where are we going to meet to give away the trees?
Blackburn Park.
Blackburn? Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Sure, and it's at the Jackson Road parking lot.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, Tessa, regarding that, do you have literature, handouts that talk about planting, you know, standards? Yvonne thought you might have some.
She might be frozen.
All right, I'll follow up with Tessa after this. Okay, any other new business? No? Okay. When is our next meeting, Michelle?
October 5th.
October 5th. Okay, and it has to be a Zoom meeting, is that what we're saying?
Doesn't have to, but the availability of our meeting rooms is getting a little tighter because so many of our fitness programs are starting back up.
What
And
about the
use
park?
A park would probably work a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah, that, I think I'm speaking for, well, I don't know. Perhaps I'm speaking too
Yeah.
quickly. How would you guys feel about meeting outside at our next meeting?
The only thing I need to check is I think we have to start recording our meetings,
Okay.
but I need to check that with the city clerk. And if that is the case, I don't know if I can do that with my phone or not.
Okay.
The meeting outside with everyone.
Well, why don't we plan on this Zoom meeting like this one? And now we're all practiced at it, so that's great. And then if we could potentially have it outside, Yvonne, you could let us know, and maybe Michelle could do a little poll, you know.
Okay, sure.
And we certainly want to meet, you know, so if people are uncomfortable meeting together, I understand that, and we'll just have a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Send out an email as we get closer, get a feel for what might work best. And but I think it's best to set up the Zoom because
Yeah.
who knows, there could be bad. And on that note, I will have to miss the October 5th meeting. So if someone can jump in and take minutes again, I'd really appreciate it. So
Yeah, I think Zoom might even have a minute.
the report. Yes. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna check that. So if no one has to, I can handle that. But it's
That
all
would-
about the grandkids.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you need me to, I can totally take notes. So just
I
let me know.
appreciate it. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Thanks, Ginger.
It was a good meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so
You
nice.
did a
to-
great job.
Oh, thanks. It's so nice to see everybody's whole face, not just part of your face, right?
Sure. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we want
All
to
right.
check and see if there's any updates though from council?
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally skipped that.
Well, we're the virtual town hall for the redevelopment schematic design is on the 24th, which is in next Thursday. And you can sign up at sgcollaborative.com to join that meeting. And that is basically what I've got for announcements. Yeah, city manager search is still continuing. And also related business, there is going to be a vigil at Eden Seminary on the 25th of September for Black Lives. And that is, plans are really coming together quickly on that. And so all I know is that it will be outside at Eden on the 25th. I think probably at about 6 o'clock.
Okay, good.
Okay. Anything else? Sorry, did I miss anything?
No, I think as Rich would say, I've said enough. So
Okay, I've definitely said enough. All right.
good to see you.
All right, well, thank you. Good meeting.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Oh, this is a good meeting, really. For Zoom, I think this is great.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
See you all in a second.
Before you
Bye,
go,
you.
you know what Kelly Garrett?
Kelly
No.
Garrett, I don't.
I
You know
don't
Kelly
either.
Garrett. Okay, thank you.
I
Okay.
don't. Sorry.